Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here we are in 2026, and I've been thinking a lot about Doom Eternal lately. Yeah, I know, 6 years old at this point, but you know what got me fired up to revisit this? I was playing a game in the other day, and I just kept thinking, man, they don't make them like Eternal anymore. So I reinstalled it, booted it up, and holy shit, I forgot how much this game does not hold your hand. Like I died to the first Arachnotron, the first one. In 2020, I thought I was hot stuff. In 2026, apparently I've gone soft. But that's what we're doing today. A full retrospective on Doom Eternal. Does it still rip and tear in 2026? Has the FPS genre learned anything from it? Or did we all just collectively forget what made this game special? Let's find out. Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the marauder in the arena. Doom Eternal's combat is not like other shooters. It never was. And honestly, that gap has only gotten wider. Most modern shooters have leaned into the whole cinematic experience thing, right? Loads of auto-aim, health regen, cover systems, one or two weapons you stick with for half the campaign. And look, I'm not knocking that, there's a place for it. But Eternal said, nah, we're doing something different. This game treats combat like a rhythm game disguised as an FPS. You've got the resource loop, health, armor, ammo, and every single one is tied to a specific action. Chainsaw for ammo, glory kills for health, flame belts for armor. And the game is constantly draining all three, forcing you to engage with every system every second. I remember when this came out, people were divided. Some folks were like, this is genius, this is the evolution of the genre. Others were like, bro, I just want to shoot demons, why is there homework? And honestly, both takes are valid. This game has opinions about how you should play it. But here's the thing, and this hit me hard on this replay. Once you accept what Eternal is asking of you, once that loop clicks, it's like nothing else feels the same. You become this hyper-aggressive, multitasking demon slayer. You're not just shooting, you're managing resources in real time, prioritizing targets, moving three-dimensionally through the arena. There's this one moment that perfectly encapsulates it. You're low on health, out of shotgun ammo, there's a cacodemon charging you, two arachnotrons on the high ground, and a bunch of fodder demons scattered around. And in any other game, this is a reload checkpoint moment. But in Eternal, this is where you pop off. You quick swap to the ballista, hit the cacodemon with a grenade, glory kill it for health, chainsaw a zombie, now you've got ammo, flame belts the arachnotron, pump two rockets into it, dash away as it explodes, collecting armor shards. And you did all of that in like 8 seconds while the soundtrack is just screaming at you. That's the flow state Eternal wants you in. And when you're in it, chef's kiss. Nothing else scratches that itch. In 2020, this dude was the most controversial enemy in the entire game. People hated him. He breaks the flow, he's unfair, he goes against everything the game teaches you. And you know what? I get it. I really do. The Marauder forces you to stop, to wait, to bait out his attacks and punish in a specific window. In a game that's all about constant aggression, he's asking you to play defensively. It feels wrong. But, and hear me out, I think time has been kind to the Marauder. Not because the design changed, but because we've all gotten better at the game. The speedrunning community, the nightmare difficulties, the modding scene, everyone's pushed Eternal to its limits. And you know what? The Marauder has skill ceiling. Once you learn the quick swap ballista SSG combo, once you understand his patterns, he's not a wall anymore. He'll skill check. Is he still annoying sometimes? Absolutely. But he's not the run killer he used to be. He's just that one enemy that makes you pay attention. Also, let's be real. The dog is way more annoying than the Marauder himself. That little hellhound can eat dirt. So if you're jumping into Eternal in 2026, you're probably getting the complete package with both Ancient Gods DLCs. And man, we need to talk about these. Ancient Gods Part 1 it's basically its software saying, oh, you thought you were good at our game? It cranks everything to 11. New enemies like the Spirit and the Blood Maker that completely change how you approach arenas. The escalation is real. That final boss fight in Part 1, the one in Orgak, still one of the most intense FPS encounters I've ever experienced. It's long, it's brutal, it throws everything at you. I've seen people bounce off it hard, but when you beat it, you feel like a god. Part 2 though, Part 2 is where opinions split again. Some people love it for being the ultimate challenge. Others think it goes too far, that it becomes more tedious than fun. I'm somewhere in the middle. The Cursed Prowler is a cool concept, an enemy you have to kill with the Crucible or it just keeps respawning, but in practice, especially in the later levels, it can feel like artificial difficulty. Same with some of the arena combinations. There's a difference between this is hard but fair and this is just throwing stuff at me. But here's what I appreciate about the Ancient Gods DLCs. They didn't play it safe. They could have just given us more of the same. Instead, they pushed the skill ceiling even higher, added new mechanics, and created some truly memorable moments. The World Spear, the final fight against the Dark Lord, these are big swings. Whether those swings all connect is up to you, but I respect the ambition. Alright, real talk. How does Doom Eternal actually hold up in 2026? Visually, still gorgeous. ID Tech 7 was ahead of its time, and it shows. The art direction is so strong that it doesn't feel dated at all. Those hellscapes, the Sentinel architecture, the way they mix sci-fi and demonic imagery, it's timeless. Yeah, there are newer engines with better ray tracing or whatever, but Eternal still looks fantastic and runs like butter on pretty much anything. The gameplay, though, this is where it gets interesting, because the FPS genre has kind of moved away from what Eternal does. We've seen more extraction shooters, more life service games, more tactical, slow burn stuff. Even the single-player campaigns that do come out are usually more grounded, more realistic. Which means Eternal feels even more unique now than it did in 2020. It's this preserved specimen of pure, distilled, arcade-style FPS combat. No padding, no grinding, no battle passes. Just you, an arena, and a bunch of demons that need to die. That's either going to be exactly what you want, or it's going to feel like a relic from a different era. And honestly, I think that's fine. Not every game needs to chase trends. The movement still feels incredible. The dash, the monkey bars, the meat hook. It's like playing a Tony Hawk game, but with guns. You're constantly in motion, constantly repositioning. Modern shooters have forgotten how good it feels to just move through a space. And the soundtrack. Mick Gordon's work on the base game is still legendary. Yeah, we all know about the controversy with the Ancient Gods and how Mick didn't return for Part 2. That whole situation was messy. But Andrew Hulshult and David Levy did solid work on the DLCs. It's different, but it still slaps. So here's the big question. If you've never played Doom Eternal, should you pick it up in 2026? If you want a shooter that respects your intelligence and your time, absolutely. This is a 15-20 hour campaign with 2 meaty DLCs. No fluff, no fetch quests, no go collect 10 demon hearts nonsense. Every level is crafted. Every encounter is intentional. If you're looking for something to chill with after work, maybe not. This game demands your attention. You can't autopilot through it. Even on lower difficulties, you need to engage with the systems. If you bounced off it in 2020 because it felt too demanding, I'd say give it another shot, but adjust your expectations. Play on an easier difficulty. Use the difficulty modifiers if you need to. There's no shame in it. The game is still fun even when it's not kicking your ass. And if you loved it back then, dude, reinstall it. I promise you've forgotten how good it feels. Plus, the modding community has created some wild stuff. Custom campaigns, new demons, remixed arenas. There's a lot to explore.